It had been a day of adventure. Katie learned that if you want juice from a juice machine, you have to wait until you hear a loud clunk to pull it out. Orbie discovered that if you want to buy peanuts, you'd better have your hands ready or most of them will land on the floor. And they both learned that when you go to pay for treats and you're not as tall as a grown-up, sometimes the cashier doesn't notice you. Katie and Orbie were hardly able to wait for Mom and Dad to buy the tickets. Today, they were visiting the zoo. The first thing Katie and Orbie saw was a huge swimming pool. In it were some seals. Dad said the water was pretty cold. Seals like it that way. A man in big boots went into the pool area. He had a bucket of fish. Seals love fish, and that's what the zookeeper feeds them. The man pulled some out of the bucket and threw them in the water. Much to Orbie's surprise, a seal jumped right out of the water into the air and caught one. Orbie clapped. When the seal got up on the land, he clapped too. Seals like to clap, Dad said. Then the man blew a whistle and one seal jumped out of the water and flipped in the air. Orbie did it too so that the seal would know that he was good at flipping. Next, they went to the house of snakes. Everybody thought they looked beautiful. Everybody but Mom. She thought she would wait outside. Snakes made her feel a little bit creepy. Dad pointed out that snakes come in all different sizes. Orbie liked the boa constrictor best, but Katie liked the ordinary garter snake because it had so many pretty colors. Soon they were all walking along a path. Orbie noticed something jumping from tree to tree. It was a very, very big monkey. Dad pointed out that it was the only tailless monkey, and it's called an orangutan. There was a baby, and a mother was holding it in her arms, just like human mothers would do. And Dad came along and sat in the branch with them. He looked at Katie, and Katie looked back. He scratched his head, so did Katie. He scratched his belly, so did Katie. Then he made a funny noise with his lips, and Katie tried to imitate it. The orangutan clapped his hands like the seal and jumped down. Katie laughed. It was fun to play with him. Orbie looked around the corner, and suddenly he saw a huge hairy beast coming towards him. He was a little afraid and burbled for Dad. Dad told Orbie he was safe. This was a buffalo, and there was a large trench between Orbie and the animal. Dad explained how years ago there used to be thousands of buffalo, and now there are not so many left, so they are a treasure. Katie was very glad to know how special it was. Katie looked behind her and saw something that looked like a giant chicken with a long neck. Mom told her that it was an ostrich. Orbie thought it looked great. Mom told them that in some places people ride them like horses. Next, they found a big gray animal with a wide, flat nose. Orbie thought it was a baby elephant that had lost its trunk, but Mom told him it was a hippopotamus. The hippopotamus wandered down into a little pond and just kept walking. Katie was worried that it couldn't swim, but Dad told her that one of its favorite places was under the water. Soon all they could see of him was his eyes and nose. Katie said that it was just the way a bullfrog liked to be in the water. Mom and Dad giggled because Katie was right. Orbie noticed something peeking at him from up over the top of a tree. It was yellow with brown spots, and Orbie just knew it was a giraffe. One giraffe was standing very close to Katie and Orbie. They were shorter than his legs. Dad said that he would like to have a giraffe at home to change light bulbs. Katie and Orbie pointed out that he wouldn't even fit in the house. Giraffes like to eat leaves, not spaghetti. Everybody agreed that he would be better off where he was. Soon they came to the petting zoo. Mom explained that this meant that Katie and Orbie could touch the animals as long as they were gentle. The two friends saw all kinds of animals. Katie hurried over to a little lamb. Katie thought the lamb would have soft fur. It was coarse and curly. The rabbit nearby was soft for sure. Orbie wiggled his nose just like the rabbit. A beautiful bird walked by, and Dad told them it was a peacock. The peacock looked at Orbie and spread open its beautiful tail feathers. Dad thought the peacock liked Orbie's colors and wanted to show him his. A raccoon who was nibbling on a little piece of food looked at Katie and then ran away. Mom thought maybe the raccoon didn't want to share. In the next area, they found some deer. There were a lot of deer. Dad showed Katie and Orbie the grain machine. Just like the peanut machine, you had to put your bag under the spout to get feed to give to the deer. When Katie and Orbie walked out into the small herd of deer, nobody noticed them. I mean, the deer didn't notice them. Of course, Mom and Dad were right behind. Well, Katie opened up her bag and made the smallest crackling noise. Several of the deer lifted up their heads and turned towards Katie. They knew what she had in the bag. She tried to give a few grains to the deer, but in a minute she found out that it was help yourself as far as the deer were concerned, and Katie just held the bag and giggled. Soon all you could see were deer and no Katie, so Dad moved in to make sure she was okay. Katie was talking to them about table manners and waiting their turn. Just then, Orbie opened his bag. As soon as they heard Orbie's bag, they were off and over to Orbie. Katie was feeling a little crowded, so she was quite happy that now it was Orbie's turn. Next was a monkey exhibit. You could throw some peanuts in, and the monkeys would pick them up and eat them. When one monkey saw Orbie, he stretched his hand way up towards Orbie to ask for some. Dad told Orbie to throw it because sometimes monkey can pinch or bite, even though they don't mean to. Katie loved the monkeys, and so did Orbie. Soon it was time to go. Mom promised that they would come back to the zoo over and over again. And I hope that one day you'll go to the zoo too. If you do, you're going to love discovering all the animals that live there. And I happen to know they are going to love discovering you.
Did you know? No. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Birds don't have any teeth. New babies don't have any teeth. People get 2 sets of teeth. Hamsters, rabbits, and beavers never stop growing their teeth. And sharks have way too many teeth.